All right, let's dive right in. We're setting the stage for a major showdown today. In one corner, you've got the heavyweight champion of the poker world, No Limit Hold'em. And in the other, the wild, unpredictable challenger, Short Deck. We're going to figure out which of these games really gives you a better shot at walking away with a profit.
So here's the big question on everyone's mind. Is the undisputed king, the game that's dominated poker for decades, actually in danger of being knocked off its throne? To answer that, well, we've got to get to know our two contenders.
Okay, so on one side you have the king, No Limit Hold'em. It's strategic, it's stable, and it's got a reputation for deep, thoughtful play. Then you have the challenger, Short Deck. This game is just wild. It's pure action, and it's been picking up a ton of steam, especially in the nosebleed stakes games. These two couldn't be more different.
To even begin talking about profit, we have to start with the basics, right? The rules. So let's break down the fundamental differences, because believe me, one tiny change to the deck can completely flip the script on strategy.
First up, our baseline, good old No Limit Hold'em. You know the drill. It's the worldwide standard, played with a full 52-card deck. Winning here is all about mastering the deep strategies, playing your position, sizing your bets perfectly, and getting inside your opponent's heads. And now for the challenger. Short Deck, which you might also hear called 6+ Hold'em, takes the rulebook and just tosses a chunk of it out. They literally remove every single 2, 3, 4, and 5 from the deck. You're left with just 36 cards. And this one, seemingly simple change, as you're about to see, alters absolutely everything.
And here's where things get really crazy. Check out those hand rankings. In most short deck games, a flush actually beats a full house. Now, why would they do that? Well, with 16 fewer cards in the deck, it's now mathematically harder to hit your flush than it is to make a full house. That one little tweak to the rankings completely changes the game's feel from strategic and steady to all-out aggressive action.
Okay, so we've got the rules down. Now, let's get to what you're really here for, the path to profit. How do these differences actually impact your strategy, the crazy swings you'll face, and of course, your bottom line?
The very first thing that changes is what hands you even decide to play. In Hold'em, discipline is everything. You play a tight, controlled range. But in Short Deck, with all those little cards gone, hands that want to make streets and flushes, like Jack-10 suited, suddenly become absolute monsters. They connect with the board way more often, so you're playing more hands, and you're playing them much more aggressively before the flop. All that action leads directly to the biggest difference between these two games, variance. And variance is just a fancy word for the insane financial ups and downs you're going to face. No Limit Hold'em is pretty stable, you know? Your long-term results are more predictable. Short Deck, though, it is a pure roller coaster. The pots get huge, people are all in constantly, and the swings your bankroll will take can be absolutely massive.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Our source material puts it bluntly. Short Deck's variance is especially punishing. This isn't just a minor detail, it's a core feature of the game. You have to be ready for it, both in your head and in your wallet.
So, with all that chaos, where does skill even come in? Well, in Hold'em, the game is super competitive. It's saturated with amazing players, and there are endless books and courses. The game is pretty much solved. Short Deck, on the other hand, is still kind of like the Wild West. The best strategies are still being figured out, which means if you're willing to study, you can find huge gaps in your opponent's knowledge and really exploit them for a serious profit.
This brings us to a really practical point. How do you protect your bankroll through all this? Because the amount of money you need to just survive the downswings in these two games is dramatically different.
This chart really lays out the stark reality. To play No Limit Hold'em safely and ride out the inevitable bad runs, the pros recommend having around 35 buy-ins in your bankroll. But for Short Deck, you need almost double that. We're talking closer to 55 buy-ins just to stay afloat.
Let me just put a fine point on that. 50+ buy-ins. That is the bare minimum you need to have set aside to survive the brutal reality of Short Deck. That's not a suggestion, it's a financial necessity. It's a must-have, not a nice-to-have. All right, we've gone over the rules, the strategy, the skill, and the cold, hard cash. It's time to put all the pieces together and figure out which game is your winning hand. Let's get to the final verdict. So, how do you actually choose? Let's break it down. If you're just starting out, No Limit Hold'em is the clear choice. The community is huge, there are tons of resources, and the swings are way more manageable. Now, if you're an experienced player, you're properly bankrolled, and you love that high-risk action, Short Deck's softer competition could be an absolute goldmine. But, and this is a big but, if you just can't stomach those brutal financial swings,
stick with NLHE. Its stability is going to be much better for you. So there you have it, the strategic, calculated marathon of no-limit hold'em versus the high-variance, potentially high-profit sprint of short deck. You've seen the showdown, you understand the risks and rewards. The only question left is, which game is your winning hand?
Start a live chat now to join one of our clubs or ask us any questions. Message at bluffingmonkeys24_7 on Telegram or visit bluffingmonkeys.com and start a live chat.